In the temporarily occupied Kherson region, a car with 4 Kadyrovites officers was blown up. This was reported by the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense. It is noted that on May 20, between Skadovsk and Antonovka, in the temporarily occupied territory of the Kherson region, a UAZ Patriot vehicle exploded. There were 4 officers of the Russian occupation forces from the so-called Akhmet unit inside. Not a single one survived. After the first explosion of the car with the Kadyrovites, a second roar was heard. The ammunition that the invaders were transporting detonated, the GUR said. Intelligence notes that for every war crime committed against the Ukrainian people there will be just retribution. As media reported, at the end of April, in the city of Balashikha in the Moscow region, a car was blown up near which the deputy head of the main operational directorate of the General Staff of the Russian Federation, Yaroslav Moskalik, was passing at that moment. This military man was engaged in regular planning, coordination and preparation of reports on strikes on Ukraine using missiles and drones. During the war in Ukraine, at least 49,000 Russian servicemen were put on the wanted list on suspicion of desertion or unauthorized abandonment of their units. This is stated in the material of Important Stories. Journalists studied 2 alleged lists of deserters in the Russian army. One of them was published in December 2024 by the Telegram channel, Mobilization of the DPR. The publication claimed that the published file, SOCH-UVO 2024 database, those who left their unit in the southern military district without permission, contains the names of more than 26,000 people. The second list of alleged deserters was published by the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, I Want to Live. It includes 36,000 people against whom, allegedly, criminal cases have been opened in Russia for desertion and AWOL. The authors stated that they received the document from sources in the command of one of the military districts of the Russian armed forces. Journalists combined data on deserters from leaks into one table, after first clearing it of duplicates and checking the information against other sources. As noted by Important Stories, the earliest entries in the SOCH-UVO database were made in November-December 2022, the latest, at the end of June 2024. The exact period covered by the I Want to Live database is unknown. Important Stories write that not all the soldiers who ended up in the leaked databases actually evaded service, which is confirmed by public cases and the data from the leaks themselves. Thus, almost 300 people were recognized as dead, captured or missing. Leaks indicate that the main reasons for being placed on the wanted list are abandoning positions at the front, escaping from the territory of a military unit, and refusing to return to service after treatment. The Farewell to Arms project on deserters stated that the leaked lists of names do not reflect the real scale of desertion. Based on these databases, we can say that during the entire war, the number of deserters and people who went to the SOCH is more than 50,000 people. Based on these lists, it is also impossible to draw a conclusion about the number of deserters in Russia at this time, noted the project analyst Alexei Alshansky. He explained that the lists have gaps in the data, and they do not cover the last year of the war. Ukrainian aviation has carried out airstrikes on Russian army positions in the occupied territories of Donetsk and Kherson regions. As a result of the strikes with French-made Hammer and US-made JDAM bombs, hangars where armored vehicles were stored, ammunition depots and buildings where military personnel were stationed were blown up. Military equipment and personnel were also destroyed. It should be noted that recently, Ukrainian aviation has scaled up its strikes on the positions of the occupying Russian army with Western-made air bombs both in the occupied territories and in the border regions of Russia. As a result, a large number of military headquarters and ammunition depots have been destroyed.
Russian Z-patriots, most of whom are also rabid xenophobes, have a new grand betrayal. The 17-year-old son of the head of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, Adam, has distinguished himself with a new prank. The scandal arose because of a video recently published by former Smolensk City Council deputy and participant in the aggression against Ukraine, Maxim Baranov. In the video, Baranov runs next to a car driven by 17-year-old Adam Kadyrov. This event occurred during tests for the right to wear a maroon beret. This humiliating episode caused a stormy reaction in pro-war circles. The author of the channel Hammer of Justice Z did not hide his anger. Another video humiliating Russians with the participation of Chechens has appeared on social networks. In the video, Deputy Baranov, like a servant, runs after a car driven by underage Adam Kadyrov. He was echoed by Z-blogger Alexei Zivov, sarcastically noting, "Everything in this video is so wonderful that there is no need to even comment on anything." They write that former Smolensk deputy Baranov is running after Adam Kadyrov's car. Baranov's attempts to justify himself look pathetic and unconvincing. In a comment to Russian media, he said that he ran not after Kadyrov's car, but next to it, explaining this by his desire to quickly cover the distance during the tests for the right to wear a maroon beret. His words about the comfortable pace and conversation that allegedly began with the young Kadyrov only emphasize the absurdity of the situation and the deep humiliation of the Russian official forced to serve the son of a regional autocrat. This incident highlights not only the servility of the Russian elite to the Chechen Kadyrov clan, but also the cynicism of the entire Russian propaganda machine. Those same Z-bloggers who call for the greatness of Russia and patriotism are forced to watch and comment on such scenes, demonstrating deep social inequality and the actual lack of rights, even for government officials in the face of the Kadyrov vertical. It is noteworthy that Adam Kadyrov, despite his young age, has already managed to receive a number of high awards from the Russian authorities, which testifies to his special position and influence. Against the backdrop of media reports about the serious illness of his father, Ramzan Kadyrov, there are increasingly frequent suggestions that it is the junior who is preparing to become his successor. The story of the fleeing deputy Baranov is not just a curious incident. It is a vivid illustration of a deep systematic problem in Russia, where humiliation is becoming the norm and imperial ambitions coexist with a complete lack of self-esteem among representatives of the so-called ruling elite. While Russian soldiers are dying on Ukrainian soil for the delirious ideas of the Russian world, their former party colleagues are forced to run after the cars of teenagers who are vested with power only because of their origin.